Great, let's continue with part 2 of Don Quixote, 1615. It has 74 chapters, so I'll give you a narrative chapter-wise summary that flows like a story while still clear and detailed. Don Quixote, Part 2, 1615. Chapters 1 to 10. Several years have passed. Don Quixote is back home, recovering, but soon he falls again under the spell of nightly fantasies. Sancho Panza visits him, eager to continue adventures. Before setting out, both men hear that a false sequel to Don Quixote's story has been published by Alonso Fernandez de Avellaneda. This becomes important. Cervantes uses it to mock the fake book and keep his Don Quixote authentic. Don Quixote and Sancho leave La Mancha again. This time, Sancho insists more on his reward, his promised governorship. Don Quixote's illusions remain strong, but he's more cautious, often reasoning cleverly, which shows his growing complexity. Chapters 11 to 20. They meet actors dressed as devils, wild animals, and kings for a festival. Don Quixote mistakes them for real figures and attacks, causing chaos. Later they encounter a man with trained lions. Don Quixote demands a fight. The lions refuse to leave their cage, but he interprets this as a victory and renames himself the Knight of the Lions. Sancho, meanwhile, becomes more independent, offering witty proverbs and doubting his master's visions. Yet he continues to follow him. Chapters 21 to 30. The pair encounter the Duke and Duchess, wealthy nobles who have read Part 1 of Don Quixote, and decide to play elaborate pranks on them for amusement. They welcome Don Quixote and Sancho with exaggerated respect, pretending to treat him as a real knight. They orchestrate theatrical tricks, servants disguised as enchanters, staged battles, and invented quests. Don Quixote interprets all as proof of his knightly destiny. Sancho, to his delight, is promised governance of an island. Chapters 31 to 45. Sancho is made governor of a fictional place, actually just a village under the Duke's control. Despite his lack of education, Sancho rules with surprising fairness and common sense, earning respect. He solves disputes wisely, showing that rustic wit can be as valuable as book learning. Eventually, overwhelmed by responsibility and hunger, Sancho resigns his post and returns to Don Quixote, realizing he prefers adventure over politics. Chapters 46 to 57. Don Quixote continues adventures with the Duke and Duchess, but their mockery becomes crueler. He is tricked into believing Dulcinea is enchanted and that only Sancho's lashings, thousands of self-whippings, can break the spell. Sancho cleverly avoids pain, inventing excuses while Don Quixote clings to the fantasy. They also witness puppet shows and religious processions, again leading to comic battles when Don Quixote attacks what he imagines are evil figures. Chapters 58 to 66. The journey takes them to Barcelona, one of the novel's most vivid sections. Here, Don Quixote sees the sea for the first time. But in Barcelona, unlike in the Duke and Duchess's court, his illusions are treated less kindly. He becomes a spectacle, mocked by crowds. There, Don Quixote faces his final nightly duel against the Knight of the White Moon, actually his friend Samson Carrasco in disguise. Don Quixote is defeated and, by the duel's terms, must return home and give up knight-errantry for a year. Chapters 67 to 74. End of Part 2. Back in his village, Don Quixote grows weaker. Sancho, still loyal, tries to cheer him, suggesting they live as shepherds if knighthood is forbidden. But Don Quixote's spirit breaks. In his final moments, he regains full clarity. He renounces chivalric fantasies, declares himself Alonso Quijano again, and makes peace with God. Sancho weeps, urging him to pursue one last adventure. But Don Quixote calmly accepts death. He dies surrounded by friends, leaving behind both a tragic and comic legacy. An idealist undone by illusions, yet immortal in spirit. Themes in Part 2. Illusion versus. Reality deepens. Don Quixote sometimes sees reality clearly, while Sancho grows more imaginative. Power and mockery. The Duke and Duchess highlight cruelty in using illusions to mock others. Wisdom in simplicity. Sancho's common sense contrasts with learned but empty sophistication. Mortality and disillusionment. Don Quixote's end is more sober, emphasizing the tragedy beneath the comedy.